Hey guys, welcome to class review number 4. So in the poll I made for mages, pirates, and archers, pirates did take second place and archers took third, but I'm going to be doing archers today instead since I'm still not in great shape at the moment. Sorry for giving you guys a scare yesterday, but I came back from the emergency room and they said no permanent damage and low chance of scarring. It's going to be kind of a crummy couple days while I wait for the burns to heal. So I hope you guys don't mind if I do the easier one first of the remaining two. I did mention in the mage video about how I understand why Nexon isn't really too keen on making new archer classes, primarily because there's like very little ways to differentiate one marksman class to another. The other option for a dex archer based class could have been something like a gun user, but those have been decided as pirates or some other mechanism used to deploy projectiles or even like something else entirely. For example, as much as I hate League of Legends, we have AD carries like Draven and Xayah who instead just throw weapons like feathers or axes, but then that's Nightlord or Nightwalker pretty much, so Nexon kind of tied one arm behind their back by making it so that any other potential marksman type class is another class. And as a result, they're now almost exclusively limited to whatever can just shoot arrows, and because of that, we have only a measly 6 archers to work with, and here they are. Bowmaster comes first, traditional archer class with everything you can expect from one. Probably the most balanced archer class of the bunch, usually having above average to very good performance, solid marks in all departments, damage, mobbing, and good utility. Bowmasters have always been a very solid boss killer class when the damage cap was 50 mil. They were certainly up there. Not quite sure how well they do now that Fit Job is out, but their Fit Job skills in my opinion are better than what Marksman got, mostly because Bowmasters got boosts to their already great mobbing and bossing. Like every other archer in Maple, Bowmasters place a great emphasis on dealing a lot of lines in a short amount of time. Their base skill damage is a lot lower than other class types like warriors, mages, and pirates who have very high ratios, so instead, Bowmasters and by extension the others pride themselves on having high crit damage and armor penetration because we have things like armor break that gives them a chance to do partial true damage, or like marksmanship which gives them more armor pen. And let's not forget Archer's ridiculous critical damage scaling of like 150%. That would be game breaking if it was like on any other class besides an archer. Naturally, archers are the squishiest of all class types, and I would say Bowmaster is the cream of the crop when it comes to that. They're pretty squishy, like way too squishy. Just nothing too really important to say, they're everything you want in an archer, you know? On the other side of the coin is Marksman, who prefers to focus on hitting really hard instead of really fast. Bowmasters as a whole are consistent no matter what, but Marksman is quite interesting. See, their main mechanic is called Rangefinder, which gives you either armor penetration if you attack enemies in close quarters, or total damage if you're far away from a target. What do you know? Nexon has a class that's actually dependent on spacing for proper damage in a 2D video game. Anyway, Marksman has a ton of identical skills to Bowmasters like Sharp Eyes, Concentration, Evasion Boost, Hookshot, so on and so forth. The main difference mostly comes in their attacking skills. Unfortunately, while Marksman's damage against bosses is quite good, they've always been in the shadow of Bowmasters for as long as I can remember, and even then it's hard to say if Marksman is better than Bowmasters when it comes to their bossing since it's really tough to match Bowmaster's damage uptime. They do have better hyper skills than Bowmaster, but in terms of Fit Job skills, for example, True Sniping turns Marksman into a duck hunt minigame for a short period of time, which looks really fun, not so much practical. And like most hard hitter classes, once they reach the damage cap, they start to fall off, which is why Marksman is a very mid-game centric class. Great for budget or free-to-play players, but for the whales, it's not the best choice out there, which is why most endgame marksmen switch to Bowmaster since their playstyle is really similar. Now comes Wind Archer for the Cygnus Knight variant, pretty much similar to all Bowmasters in a lot of different ways, such as having a hurricane skill, a horizontal mobbing skill, a little summon thing that can help you deal with enemies, high armor penetration and crit damage, all the good stuff. But I do consider Wind Archers to be a lot stronger for a couple of reasons. Before Pathfinder came out, Archers as a whole suffered from just terrible, god-awful vertical wave clear. They had some amazing range coverage from left to right or vice versa, but for tall maps they really weren't able to do jack. Prior to Fit Job, Wind Archers also had that problem, but when Fit Job came out they also got some great skills to make up for that, like a giant freaking tornado. They also have one of the best mobility skills in the game, Wind Walk. It's a straight line momentum halting dash, great for bosses because of how fast it is, and you can travel long distances suspending yourself midair too, very versatile. They also have slightly better durability than Bowmasters, which isn't saying much, but it's worthwhile, and Trifling Wind is a better after image attack than Bowmaster's Enchanted Quiver. However, Wind Archers have the prestigious honor of having the most active buffs out of any class in the game. That was sarcasm, by the way. A few years back, Nexon gave us quality of life patches, which turned many of our active buffs into passive skills so we didn't have to spend so much time buffing. Wind Archers got none of their skills changed, and they still have to buff like 7 or 8 skills. I don't remember what, but it's a lot. That can definitely get really annoying for some players, but I wouldn't consider that quite a deal breaker. Top tier class by every means of the definition. And then we get Wild Hunter. a pretty cool spin on the archer class because it rides a jaguar as a mount, which I always thought to be awesome. I find Wild Hunter next to Pathfinder to be the most fun archer to play just because of the variety of tools it provides and the interesting mechanic of you wanting to be mounted when mobbing and dismounted when bossing. It really adds a spin to the class that keeps it interesting and a decent skill curve. Wild Hunters have arguably one of the best mobbing out of all the archers, second only to Pathfinder because of their great coverage with summon skills like Drill Salvo, Hunting Assistant Unit, and their Fit Job skill which summons a whole bunch of jaguars around the map that can attack anywhere you want them to. Great area coverage and decent damage all around. Though I would say it's a slightly lower output than the likes of Wind Archer and Bowmaster because Wild Hunters, I believe, have the lowest base crit rate of all the archers, so their critical damage scaling isn't fantastic, which they kinda need. So as a result, they're a more mobbing focused archer than bossing. Bossing is still good all things considered, but that's not their forte. Part of their lack of DPS might stem from the fact that to fully maximize the class's hurricane ability, you have to use your jaguar properly dismounted, and against most bosses that's kinda hard to do consistently, which severely hinders Wild Hunter's uptime. Still though, there are two Wild Hunters I know in-game, both extremely funded, who really enjoy the class, so they get good grades for being super fun to play, and I personally enjoy them too myself. Mercedes is the archer class of the heroes of Maple and also the hardest archer to play, requiring almost perfect execution on her link abilities to maximize your damage. Like every archer, Mercedes comes with your staple high crit rate, crit damage, armor penetration, but like the other archers who pride themselves on good damage scaling in terms of critical hits and whatnot, Mercedes just does lines. Like, pardon my French, but holy shit, look at those lines. Anyway, her main gimmick is that a lot of her skills can be buffered together, causing you to gain more damage with every skill used in succession with each other, giving her the most mobility out of all the archers, even Pathfinder I'd wager. Her boss killing is insane, and while pre-fit job her mobbing is kinda trash, once you get your hands on Sylvidia's Flight, which is a fit job skill, it makes things so much easier for wave clear. Not to mention her other two fit job skills are some of the best in the game, nearly tripling her DPS by giving her shadow partners and a mobbing 6-line hurricane. Yeah. Her burst damage is one of the best in the game, not to mention I would say in terms of hurricane she has the best one, except maybe Wild Hunter at full uptime. Her strengths are fully defined, but she's not without weaknesses. Some people just really don't like being forced to use combo skills, which is why some of the modern classes like Blaster, Cadena, Ilium, and Mercedes have such low play rate. Also, she is a little too reliant on her fit job skills in my opinion, and isn't too impressive without them because her fourth job kit is a little outdated, it could use some touch-ups. But what really stands out with Mercedes is her amazing versatility against bosses because of her ability to just cheese a lot of different attacks. One quick example being that she's straight up immune to one of the Black Mage's instant kill attacks. Still a respectable archer with a higher skill cap than the others. Heck, every archer right now actually is like mid-tier or top tier. And finally, the most recent class to come out being Pathfinder. You already know how I feel about this class. Broken mobbing, broken damage, broken scaling, broken bossing, broken DPS, the most consistent archer when it comes to damage uptime, and just a really solid class. Take every strength that the previous 5 archers have and put it into Pathfinder, and there we go. She's really busted right now, and due for a nerf sometime soon since she's just too good. I don't know what else to really say about Pathfinder, they're just insanely powerful right now, and even though they may not be number 1 in terms of boss killing, they're actually slightly weaker than Wind Archers. Pathfinders have literally everything else, which makes them completely self-sufficient. Great fit job skills augmenting their already awesome first, second, third, and fourth job abilities. Super fun. Low utility though, so don't expect too much help from a Pathfinder other than basically sharp eyes. And they do have an issue with keeping up maximum critical damage due to their kit. The biggest weakness they have is that they're ping reliant since their skills are mostly server side, which means if you don't play Maple in the West Coast, you could suffer from a slight reduction of damage just by buffering. Overall, fantastic class right now, probably one of the best if not the best, which is much needed considering we haven't had a new archer since Mercedes, which was a whopping 7 years ago. Can't say enough good about the class. In fact, even after it gets nerfed, I still believe Pathfinder is like in the top 15. But anyways, that wraps it up for the archers. Only 6 of them, but what can you do? I'm sure you noticed by now that all the archers feel pretty samey, and that's just the sad reality of it. In fact, Pathfinders, I look at them and I'm like, even though they have a bunch of cool things and don't have a hurricane, they're pretty much like any other traditional archer, just tons of arrows, that's about it. Don't let that fool you from their value. Archers are top tier right now, and pretty much all of them are powerful in their own right. What I think Nexon could do is try giving us a different kind of marksman in the future that doesn't use some kind of bow, like maybe a half avian class that shoots feathers or something like that. That'd be kind of cool, or I don't know, just come up with something other than bows and arrows, please. But thanks guys so much for watching. Once again, sorry for a slightly shorter class review today. I'm still hurting a little bit. I'm just glad there's no permanent damage, but that's gonna kind of ruin my whole week. I can still play games and watch videos and make videos, but I'll try to keep up on that. Fortunately, I didn't burn my beautiful godlike voice. Also, as usual, thanks again to my patrons for supporting the video. If you enjoyed, a rating would be much appreciated, and Pirates will be coming out soon, hopefully. Don't forget to subscribe for more content, and after I review every single class, I might actually do a tier list. I'm not sure yet. I said I wasn't going to make one earlier, but now I kind of want to. I'll see you guys again soon in the next video though. Take care.